You looking for me, you can find me at the barbershop. Pulling up to get a cut, bumping through the parking lot. I keep it clean, Rico's where I'm running to. If you in the city, then you probably gonna be coming to. Gang getting down, Red's getting down, Nick getting down, Ron getting down, just to name a few. Everybody blade on point. You trying to get fresh, I'm telling you this the joint. Hands down, top shop up in this vicinity. Promises age 9, LaRon been getting me. Temper on the side, I'm trying to grow out the waves.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the K.O.S. Barber Club podcast, where we discuss the collection of wisdom on the science of everything in life. And we do so by interviewing our guests, talking about their life, identifying where they selected or had self-awareness, created a self-concept, which developed a knowledge of self, which pushed them to where they are now. And today I have a guest with me, a good friend, known him for a while. I've been observing and seeing him rise and rise and rise, and he's been doing his thing. Brandan from Miami Beat Wave.
My brother. Thank you
What's
for
up,
having
brother?
me, bro.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Good. I'm blessed.
So I brought you here because I saw that you're independent now.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's what brought it. I was like,
independent. I feel like the state of the music industry right now, there's a lot of independent people out there. You have the Russes, you have the La Russells, you have all these people that don't need the major labels anymore. And at the end of the day, it's freeing, you know, but it comes with a
Price.
With a price, which is you need to now know and learn how to collect all your money, how to distribute, how to do all the promotion and marketing yourself and all that stuff, which is different than back in the day. The label did that for you.
Yeah.
And
We'll get to that. We'll get to that because that's now at the end. What I really want to know is the beginning.
Okay.
Not of the industry, but of Brandan.
Got you.
Because we're going to walk through it and see where it is that you took the right steps to get where you're at.
Right. Okay, so musically, my grandma played organ in the church for 20 years.
Okay, and so when you were a kid, you observed and you heard and you're like, this is something I like.
Exactly.
So that was you would say
it was in my house a lot. Like just music was just in my house and church and all that stuff. So she would play piano at my house. I still have her actual piano in my new house now.
Is it the organ?
It's no. The organ was at church. This is just a regular upright piano.
Damn, I was about to say because I remember those. Those are nice.
Yeah. So I said no. We're really expensive, especially the ones in the church.
Yeah, those are huge.
But I still have her piano. I still write on it. Actually, sometimes I feel like I can feel her when I write on it. And
nice.
I'll never let it go. So she taught me music on that piano.
How old were you at that age?
5, 6.
So you would say that's when you had like awareness?
Something like that of being intrigued with music. And then
no, I'm talking about awareness, like you were aware of
the world and surroundings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean probably before that, right? I mean,
what brought that thought?
What age does somebody is aware of stuff? Because I feel like already when you're an infant and you look at infants and you're like, wow, it's so amazing to see their eyes because they're looking at everything for the first time.
They don't.
You don't think they have awareness?
I think it's still the wiring is still getting, or it hasn't been corrupted.
Right.
Because when you're a kid,
aren't they technically like when they cry to you, they're aware that they're hungry. They're aware that they need to go to the bathroom.
Well, it's like
they're aware of certain human traits inside of you. You know what I'm saying? That have already been built since then.
It's an alarm system. I mean,
if we're talking about self-awareness as far as like, I know who I am as a person, I know how I feel about certain things and opinions,
I'm
then
saying
maybe probably when you get older.
I'm asking more like when I was a kid, when I smelled paint for the first time, that's like my furthest memory. That's like, I remember.
Really?
That was like 4 years old.
Wow. Why?
Because my aunt was getting married and they were painting the house. So
what color was the paint?
It was white.
It was white.
She was getting married.
Yeah.
Purple.
So purple actually used to be the color of royalty. So all kings and queens would wear purple.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
You saw that movie too?
I don't even know what movie that is. I just know it somehow.
I just fucking around. No, because that thought was the furthest thought I could remember, because when I smell paint, it takes me back there.
Wow.
So that's when I was aware.
Wow.
So when do you think
it
was from a sense?
I feel like the smelling sense is extremely strong when it comes to memory. Like when you smell somebody's perfume
or a sound.
Music especially. Music and sound will take you right back to that place automatically. I feel like taste, not as much for me. It's the hearing and the smelling takes me right back to the place where I was 20 years ago so fast. It's not even funny, man. And it's crazy that you say it because it happened to me the other day. Like I smelled, I think it was like cool water or something.
Cool water cologne?
Yeah. And I was like, I think I was testing them out for
Was
my
that
son.
before Snoop said it or after when you first started using cool water?
No, I was using cool water in middle school.
Yeah.
And that's what it took me back to. Because I was choosing some for my son, and my son pulled out cool water, and he was like, "What do you think of this one?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
I never smell it anymore. Like I don't. Nobody. I used to smell
wears
it.
cool water.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Cool water. What was that? CK1.
Fahrenheit.
Curve.
I never had Curve.
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit was the jam.
What's the other one? Jean Paul Gaultier.
Yeah, all of those good stuffs. When you pass by back then was Burdines.
Burdines.
Now it's Macy's. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's how old we are.
Yeah. Stop. Don't tell them that.
It's okay, man. Knowledge. With age comes knowledge, man.
That's true.
I
love that. I love that. And I think about that a lot when like another birthday passes or another year passes. I think to myself, man, I'm so lucky to be alive. Like even to gain more knowledge, be older. Some people look at it as a bad thing. I feel like I'm like, because there's a lot of people losing their lives out here for senseless things when they're real young. Mm-hmm. And if I can make it to another year and older and older and older, I'm more blessed.
Yeah.
I shouldn't think about it in a negative way, like, oh my God, I'm getting older, I might get a wrinkle or stuff like that. No, it's the opposite. Correct. You're blessed. The longer you live, the more blessed you are. Yeah, and that's how everybody needs to look at it.
I used to see a 30-year-old be like, that's old, like uncles, family members.
Yeah, so when we were young, you used to think that, oh, my life's going to be over.
Yeah, I always thought, okay, 30 years old, when I get to that age, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids. But then when I got to the 40s, I'm like, I never really thought about 40s or 50s,
Yeah.
So it's like.
So how does it feel?
It feels like it's starting all over.
Yeah. And your kids are grown.
They're huge.
Yeah, bro. Mine's 17. I know.
Oh, my son's about to turn 16. So
congratulations on being a good dad, by the way.
Thank you, bro. You too, man.
Yeah, man. It's really tough. It's really tough. And nowadays, it's I think
the hard part is the baby mamas. That's the hard part.
That's what I'm saying. It's tough to stay in a relationship. Like I went to my son's what's it called? Open house, you know, when you go to the schools or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the parents and none of them are together nowadays. Like literally.
Don't parents look different now? I remember when I was a kid, parents didn't look like they look now, dude.
Well, yeah, bro. Look, you have sleeves of tattoos.
I'm not talking about the tattoos.
I'm saying that. Oh, what do you mean they don't look the same?
Bro, they look like, especially here in Miami. Have you gone to like an open house?
Yeah, I mean, meaning like they look younger.
They look younger. They look fit. They look when I was a kid, old people look old.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, perfect example. You walk into the room like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm here for the open house.
Yeah. No, they look at me crazy.
They're like, hey, hey, what's up?
It's the music guy.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, the music guy's
exactly. Here. The music guy. That's what you are.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's go back to the adolescence.
Yeah. So then right after learning a little bit of the piano and she finally got me into the band at school. And this is by now I'm in middle school. Don't make fun of me. I played the flute.
No, that's awesome. What middle school did you go to?
West Miami.
West Miami
Middle School.
What year was that?
Oh, what? 1997?
Nice.
96,
97, 96.
Like
all right.
Or whatever.
And you had already learned music from the grandma.
Right.
Experienced it.
Right. So she already taught me about like writing it out and reading it. Then I got more into it when I was playing the flute in the band. We started going to competitions, so on and so forth. Back then, for a man to be playing the flute wasn't that cool. You know what I'm saying? Now that you hear the flute in all the Futures music, and now it's really cool to play the flute.
Was that cartoon? Like that? The Peter, what is it? What's the name of that cartoon?
Peter Piper?
I believe so.
There
was a cartoon that he plays the flute and all the kids follow him.
Oh.
There's a meaning
really
to that movie.
now.
Look it up. Guys, look up the meaning to that movie. You're going to see it's a little sinister. It's crazy.
I was about to say, that didn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
So back then, a lot of that crazy stuff that's going on now that we see in the media, back then we used to hear about it and be like, there's no way that's true.
Yeah, because information
you remember
travel.
Back then we were like, there's no way Diddy's doing that.
No, it was Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, Diddy. And then you know what? Now as an adult, I look at it and I go, and I love Michael Jackson's music. I'm not saying nothing about that. I'm saying that now as an adult and a parent, I look at it and I go, this guy had a carnival in front of his house and nobody questioned it.
Like Cat Williams says.
And nobody questioned
He's like,
it.
when
I have
girls
it's okay,
over,
Michael.
I have all types of liquor and I have everything they want. This
Yeah.
guy has a carnival. I was like, whoa,
I know.
wow.
Strange. Why would you build a carnival in front of your house?
I mean, dude, when you have millions and millions of dollars.
That's what we thought. You know what I'm saying? We were like, okay, he didn't have a childhood because he didn't. He was already a star from the beginning. He didn't go to school and stuff like that. Actually, I got a cool story about that. When he was older, he wanted to learn CPR since he never went to school.
Yeah.
So he went to a CPR class, and the doll's name is Annie. So the first thing that you ask the doll is, "Are you okay?"
Oh.
So basically, he went to the CPR class, got taught how to do the CPR,
Annie,
and went
are
back
you
to the
okay?
studio and said, "Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?" Which is the first thing you ask before you start doing the CPR to the. And the doll's name was Annie, and that's how he wrote the song. The song is about CPR doll.
Say word.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
That's it. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Message.
Yeah, no, I got a bunch of crazy music facts just stuck in my head.
All right,
The more we
so-
talk. Okay, going back to West Miami.
Self-awareness. So you
Right.
were aware. You
I
knew
was
your
aware-
grandma.
I was aware that I love music, but there was a problem while I was being taught in middle school. The band directors can be very mean and like very judgmental. You're scared to play for them, like almost kind of
Like that drummer movie.
Get-
You seen that one?
Yes.
What's the name of that movie?
Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Fire. So exactly like that.
Okay.
Meaning somebody hitting you with the ruler every time you're wrong on the piano.
Wow.
You know, type of shit. Like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And remember, it is a type of learning. There is a way people learn by just like we said, Michael Jackson and his father used to beat him.
In those days,
and stuff like that.
that was the norm,
That
which
was-
now
that was
is
norm.
not.
Now it's not cool.
You can't do
You
that.
can't do that.
You can't do that.
No, they'll call the cops on you.
People are sensitive nowadays. It's a good and
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yes, I think. Okay, yes, you're right. People are sensitive nowadays. I think we've gotten to a place where we're a little too sensitive, in my opinion, because one of my favorite art forms is comedy, stand-up comedy, right?
Oh no, you can't say certain things.
And it's like, well, I feel like the stand-up comedians right now, out of all the arts, including music, are talking more about the times than anybody else. Like literally, we don't hear any songs like we used to before when Bob Dylan was talking about what was going on in the world, or even Michael Jackson healed the world and stuff that was actually going on in the times. Nobody's talking right now in their music on the radio about COVID or the politics, or like our music is not being, representing what's going on in our time for a history lesson. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but the comedians, I feel like, are. They're talking about what's going on.
But okay, in those times, I don't believe that paying a disc jockey to play a song was like that practiced. I mean, I'm sure
Okay.
people did it.
Proper, okay.
Now you get a record, it's okay record. They pay a couple grand to the disc jockey or the station, and it gets played like crazy.
Right, but my question is the record talking about what's going on?
No, my point to that is that there are records that have them. You just got to search it. Like back in the days.
Okay.
Back in the days,
not
they
on the
didn't.
radio.
Back in the days, they didn't play Tribe. Back in the days, they didn't
that's
play
true.
Rakim. You know what I'm saying? That was in New York radio.
Mm-hmm.
Around here, you had to find it. So I
True.
believe we're back to that.
True.
You have to find the sound. You have to find the lyrics and all that, because if you don't, you listen to the radio, listen to pop music, you go watch the TV, they're gonna push the artist that they want upon you.
Of course, and the money and the agenda behind it.
Yeah,
and,
dude, like
and
now,
what they're teaching the kids is tough, man.
every
It's tough.
artist is little something, little, and every
Yeah.
artist is talking about the same damn thing.
I actually heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard Cardi B doesn't let her own daughter listen to her music.
And that's the smartest thing I've ever heard she's done.
Hey, well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. But millions of little girls listen to her music. You know what I'm saying? And are
That
getting
is a problem.
influenced by it.
That is a problem. That is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of that going on. What are we gonna do? This is the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
we can
tell.
change it slightly about how we're doing it now with independence. But with the independent problem is now you have more masses, meaning if I want to go find something on Spotify or I want to go find something on Apple Music that's not on the radio, that's not being pushed as an agenda to you,
Yeah.
you have like billions of songs. Like, how do you get through
access,
it all?
access to
You know
all
what I'm
of it.
saying?
I
Like,
mean,
it's a lot of artists out there right now.
music, man, it's a vibration, it's a feeling. When you hear it, you know. So I mean, you
agree.
could search all you want, and you might not find it, but one day you just turn on Spotify and you let it ride. All of a sudden, boom, you're like,
You
"Yo, who is that?"
You find your new favorite artist.
or you find a lyric or something that inspires you and makes you think like, yo, this is dope. Who is this? You know what
Right.
I mean?
And back in the day, remember how it had to be? It had to be one of your friends come up to you and be like, yo, have you heard this tape? Have you heard this CD? Have you heard this mixtape? Have you heard this? Da, da? And it was more word of mouth. And your friend had to be like, yo, check this out.
Correct.
Now you're just on a playlist and all of a sudden something new pops up. And you're
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Or you
cool.
say, I want to hear something like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you get the same sound.
I feel like there's a good and a bad to it because it's kind of like bad. Like, let's say before when somebody actually tells you, yo, you got to check this guy out, and you trust your homie, you trust his taste, and then you're like, okay, I really got to go check this guy out.
Of course.
And now it's just so saturated that it's almost like we don't know when something's good or bad anymore.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
Like back in the
art
days.
is relative. I get it. But let's be honest. There's some stuff that's bad.
It's always been stuff that's bad.
But then somebody will say, well, it's not bad to somebody else, and they love it. Hey, I get that. I understand.
That's why we're here, Brandan, because it's self-awareness, knowledge of self.
Facts.
So the facts that you know are not the facts that other people know, not necessarily meaning they're not right. Nobody's wrong or right. It's just your preference.
Correct.
So,
preference.
So let's get back to that.
Taste.
You already had the self-concept of music, right?
Right.
You knew you were going to be involved in somehow, music.
Yes.
So you were playing in a band.
Yeah, yes.
High school was the same. You were just...
No, high school I stopped.
Okay, why did you do that?
I stopped until 11th grade.
Why did you stop?
Oh, man. Probably because I was a high school kid, bro. Girls, I wanted to be cool, hang out. Music wasn't, really cool.
So, I mean, hip-hop was popping at that time.
Right.
That was 97, 98, 99.
No. I was listening to hip-hop and stuff. I'm talking about actually making it and doing it. I started that in 11th grade. That's when I knew that's finally when I was self-aware that I want to do this for the rest of my life, because I built a home studio inside of my house and I started recording rappers around my block.
What was that? What was the inspiration for that action?
Man, I think it was just... something hit me one day where I was like, hey, man, I want to try out this drum machine. And it was an MPC. And I was trying out the MPC because, I saw people like Kanye West with it and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And it showed me this part of music that I wasn't brought up with. I was brought up with reading the notes, writing the notes, playing the instrument.
So you could read and write music?
Yes.
Oh, that's dope.
Exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like chopping up samples and these little nuances that would happen with the background of the music, and just breaking the dissonant rules, meaning that you're not supposed to play this note with this note if you're not in that key or whatever. Like hip hop threw all that out the window.
Yeah,
and
sampling was
records
more
over records that weren't in the same key, and that made me like fall in love with music again. I was like, ooh, it's edgy and they're pushing the boundaries, and let me try that out.
You thought that actual thought?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. How old were you when you got to that point?
I was in 11th grade.
So you were what, like 17, 16?
Exactly.
Nice.
So
you
and that's when I went full throttle.
You go in full throttle.
And then right after that, I started getting bad grades because all I cared about was music, and I would stay home and not go to high school.
Stay up late.
And stay up late. It was just my bed and my studio, and I built a booth inside of my childhood home.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I put a little. You remember those big monitors?
Was that the one I went to when you had the studio, the Miami Beat Wave studio?
No. That's a completely different place. I gained that after graduating from Full Sail in college and all that stuff. Actually going to school for music and engineering. This is before that. It's like in my childhood home, in my personal bedroom, in my bedroom. Yeah. And it was interesting time, man. I learned a lot. Well, an engineering tip.
So nobody ever taught you how to use it? You just went in?
I went in, yeah, but I would read like magazines. I would have lots of magazines. What it used to be Scratch magazine for producers and stuff like that. Like I had every one of those. Another one was called Mix magazine. So I would read techniques. I did a lot of reading. And then I finally went to Full Sail for it and got
that's the one in Orlando,
proper
right?
education. Yes, exactly. The one.
And you graduated from there, or you bounced early?
No. I graduated with a 3.9.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But I graduated high school with a 2.1. That's what I'm saying. And I had to go to night school and summer school and all this stuff because I was more interested in music than anything else. And I already was self-aware that I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. But the only reason I went and made sure that I graduated high school was because for my mother, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to have my mom not see me walk, high school.
Plus,
like,
you want to go to you could go to Full Sail without a high school diploma?
I'm not sure.
Nah, I
I
don't
think
think
you need
so.
one. Yeah, it's a university. It's a legit
Yeah, so
university.
you need one. So you need it to
or,
graduate
or at
anyway.
least a GED. You need a
Something to get you
GED.
in.
Yeah, you need a GED at least
So
for
what
sure.
year was that? Okay, you graduated high school. It was
I
music.
graduated Full Sail 2007, which is so I graduated high school 2004, 2006. I tried to go to Miami-Dade. It didn't work because I didn't go to any of the other classes except for the music
Music
class.
class.
Yeah, so I had straight A's in the music class and then F's and everything else. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go to a music school. So that's what
Right.
I end up doing. Full Sail was very real world education is what they call it. That's their slogan.
Yeah.
Meaning that they are open all day and night. So I had class at 3 a.m. I had class at 8 p.m. at night, and it was just this
Wow.
24-hour cycle. And I got my degree in 1 year
Holy shit.
because I went Sunday through Sunday.
Did you make any beats that are in use now in that time? No.
I was more focused on learning.
Got it.
I didn't make beats during the time. I had my little setup in my college room, but I never really those beats never really went anywhere because I was very focused on actually reading the books,
Got it.
and I was also paying a lot of money. It's a private university, like they don't take Florida prepaid college plan or anything like that.
So it was actually a good choice to end up going to Full Sail.
Yes, it was. I mean, there's a lot of people. So I think I started my class with 400 people and only 30 graduated.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people drop out because it's very difficult. It's very fast paced, and the times and the hours is not for everybody. Some people are like, yeah, I'm not going to show up at 3 a.m. But what they're trying to teach you is that if Alicia Keys wants to record at 3 a.m, this studios are 24/7, and you're getting that call from Alicia
Got
Keys.
it.
You need to show up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, the grind. You can't teach the grind.
Yeah. Thank you, Full Sail. I can't sleep anymore. I'm an insomniac.
So when you're in that atmosphere, in that environment, and you're going to class and you're learning all these things, and you have this goal. Okay, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna start my own production company, or were you thinking more? I'm just gonna make beats. I'm gonna have a studio. What were your thoughts?
Well, my initial thing has always been to be a producer.
Okay.
So making beats and producing, obviously, producing is a lot more than just making beats because nowadays we have people who are beat makers,
Okay.
and then people who are producers, and then we have people who are both. So a producer is going to go in there, even if it's somebody like the artist brings a beat from a beat maker.
Okay.
I'll be there to arrange it differently, do drops. I'll do the recording, the mixing, also do vocal arrangement with the person. Hey, we need to hit this note. We're going to put harmonies here. Well, we're going to do the B section here. We're going to drop out the drums in this section and actually make a record.
Yeah, you
compared
conduct
to
it.
just making a beat.
That's dope.
But I also make beats too. So I do both, and it just all depends on what's right for the song
Which one you
and
like
what's
doing
right
more?
what's right for the artist.
Which one you like doing more?
Making beats is fun because like you just feel it at the time. You're like, oh yeah. But being like the whole production is takes more time, takes more out of you energy wise. But at the end, when you have that final song, it's more gratifying than just having a beat.
Have you ever
Because-
had a beat that you made and you're like, this shit is amazing, and then you let people hear it and it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time. I think that happens to everybody. And then there's beats that I hate, and people are like, "Yo, that's hard. I need that." And I'm like, "Really?
That
This
happened.
one?"
That happened with. I remember when Immortal Technique was in your studio.
Yeah,
I remember
Yep.
you were playing these beats. I'm like, damn, this beat's hard, and he was like,
yeah.
And then you were like skipping through. He was like, go back.
yeah.
and
Immortal Technique's a tough cookie.
And then you played one, and then he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Save
It took
that
one.
Save that one.
It's tough. That's just like when I was in the studio. I was at Cool and Dre's studio with Ludacris, and I played him like 50 beats, and he only picked 8, but I played 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on the taste of the artist, what they're looking for. Also, you need to know what the sound of their album already sounds like, because you could be playing fire beats, but it just doesn't work for them. You get
Okay.
what I'm saying? For that artist. But if another artist grabs that beat, or they're going with a different concept or a different sound for their album, that might be perfect for them. So just because it's a fire beat doesn't necessarily mean that it works for whichever artist you specifically have in your head when you made the beat. Might work for somebody else perfectly, but not for that artist. And
So have you ever had to like maybe not argue, but you had to go back and forth with an artist like, yo, man, this is the way it's got to go. This is the way I want to do it. Or have you
Okay,
always adjusted?
So I'm more of an adjustment because remember, as a producer, I'm there for the artist. There
Got
are
it.
producers out there that tell the artist exactly what to do, exactly how to sing it, exactly how to do this, exactly how to do that in their way. And I feel like when that happens, you're taking away from the thing that I like about the artist. So
Mm.
if I work with an artist, I like what they do. So why do I not I have to let them have their own free creativity to be them. And
Yeah.
then I just kind of hone it. You get what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
Help them
You
out and
control.
make their dream and their vision come to
Yeah,
life
you orchestrate it.
exactly instead of me telling them my vision. Let's
Got it.
make this my vision. No, this has to do with you too. Let's be married on this song. You know what I'm saying? Like let's actually have a child.
Nice. All right. So college, you finished college. What did you? The first thing you did was start the studio, correct?
Yes. The old studio back in the day.
What were your
Um,
feelings at that time, man? Because I know
it
that's
was
a
tough. It was tough because I was using credit cards to buy gear.
but you had a self awareness, and the
Yeah,
concept
well,
was,
nah.
I'm gonna be this producer.
Right. Yeah, we're already past that.
No fear.
Yeah, no fear. We're going in.
We're going in.
And the only thing that was maybe a fear is that when you graduate from college and stuff like that from a music school, they tell you to go be an intern at bigger places.
And you said,
Like,
nah.
yeah, I could have had an internship at Circle House. Shout out to BB. And Hit Factory, I think Criteria reached out or whatever, but I was like, I'm gonna do it independently. And Full
Nice.
Sail said, no, do not do that. You need to be an intern.
So what
And I
made
know
you
so many
do that?
people now that were interns that went and got Outback for people and went and got Dutch Masters for people for
Yeah,
two
they
years.
pay their dues.
2 years and nothing ever happened. They got stressed out. They said, and remember, interns don't get paid.
I know.
So it's like at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I might as well invest in myself.
Yeah.
Let me invest in myself. I was lucky enough to lease out the older studio, and from there, I started recording people. And all of the money that I made from recording, I would put back into buying more gear, and back into the marketing, back into making a website. And back then, we made a website like on HTML. It's not as easy as it is now.
No.
Started making flyers, started pressing up instrumental CDs, and I started going to different conferences. What ended up happening is, this is a cool story actually. I went to a conference in Arizona. It was Shaw Money XL's, who used to be G Unit and 50 Cent's manager.
Okay.
He picked me out of the beats that we were sending him, and we went over there and battled. Me and Saint LaRock, shout out to Saint. We went over there and battled, and we played our beats and stuff like that. And we had our beat CD, and I actually met Nipsey Hussle before Nipsey Hussle was Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, how
And,
was that?
and it was crazy, dude. He actually looked at the beat CD and he was like, "Yo, man, the artwork looks dope. I'm gonna put this in the car when I get out of here." Da da da. We had a brief conversation. He was really cool. And that was it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He never took any of the beats. I realized later, because I didn't know who Nipsey Hussle was at the time, and just the people in the crowd were telling me, like, yo, you need to go talk to him. He's up next. He's him. I was like, him? Really? That's crazy. Okay. I mean, he didn't have no chains on, no nothing. It was just
Yeah. He was
Nipsey Hussle,
young.
but before.
He was young.
Exactly. The problem is that I had a lot of East Coast beats on it.
Got it.
So it was a lot of like New York boom bap tracks.
Yeah.
And he's a West Coast rapper. I didn't know it at the time. This is the beat CD I had on me, but at least I got to have the conversation with him and
That's
and
nice.
talk to him for a little bit.
That's
which was
cool,
really
man.
cool.
Any gems? He didn't drop no gems, or it was brief?
It was very brief. He just said, "Yo, I love the cover. I'm gonna bump this, man. Good to meet you." Da da da. Rest in peace, Nipsey, man.
Yeah, rest in
Everything
peace,
he
man.
did independently was freaking awesome, man. An amazing trendsetter.
Yeah, the good die young, man. That's
Yeah.
what they say, right?
Yeah.
So that studio sessions over there, what was that? That was what, 2002, 2003, or what was it?
No, now we're in 2008.
Okay,
And then
2008.
I just worked my ass off with the team at the time until 2010. 305 Magazine gave us Producer of the Year. The team was very happy. Everybody started moving up, so on and so forth. And we started getting more business.
Yeah.
We started getting Dead Prez in the studio. We started getting, like you said, Immortal Technique came through. Talib came through once. And so then we started getting known for a lot of hip hop stuff. Now, since I've been on my own for about, I don't know, 8-9 years now or whatever, I've dabbled in more of the pop scene, more of the R&B stuff.
I checked the catalog, and there was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's different.
It's
cool.
different. It's different. And the reason I did it was I'm so multi-talented when it comes to the music that I was like, why not? Why? Just because I love hip hop, yes, but I can do some R&B.
And
I can do some pop. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Let me try this out. And I also
okay.
like creating top lines and vocal melodies that in rap is we don't have that. We're more maybe on the hook sometimes we
Yeah.
do, but rap is more monotone rapping. There's not much of a melody
Okay.
unless you're somebody like a Flow Rider or somebody like that. So I was like, I really want to dibble and dabble in that because I love earworms. Earworms is that melody that you come up with that when you go home after you hear a song and you're
Yeah.
trying to sleep at night
You hear it.
and you're
It's in
like,
your mind.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I hate this song, but you love it, that.
Yeah.
So I started dibbling and dabbling in that. And then also on the publishing side and the residual side and the royalties is also different, man. There was a lot of hip hop stuff that I was doing that wasn't feeding my son.
Got
You
it.
get what I'm saying? And then when I started getting chart topping stuff with more of the R&B and pop, I
Yeah.
saw more money.
Really?
Yes,
Wow. So then you kept going in that direction,
exactly.
but you always seem to fall back into the hip hop.
Everybody always still comes to me and asks me for hip hop, even if I'm like I'm not making hip hop right now. It's still like I just released a song with Beanie Siegel. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? And Carlito, shout out Carlito. We got it out right now. It's called 2 Pagers and a Payphone.
Nice.
I also did another one with Freeway and him.
Nice.
So I'm still doing a lot of the hip hop stuff from Miami. Tetris is popping off. You know
Aren't
what I'm
they?
saying?
They're still signed to Dame, no?
I don't think so. No, I think
No?
everybody's independent right now.
Oh, nice.
I think everybody's independent right now, which makes things easier as far as releasing.
Yeah,
You
they
don't
could
have
do
to
their
go
own
through the
thing.
major label to get the release. You just get the independent artist to sign off, and so on and so forth. It used to be a way harder deal back in the day, like because not only when it comes to major labels, and let's say you wanted to feature a big artist on your song and you're
Yeah.
independent or something like that,
Yeah.
basically you would have to pay for them to feature on your song and actually rap to it or sing to it.
Okay.
And then you need to pay to actually release it and distribute it. So a lot of independent people
Oh,
thought
wow.
back in the day, hey, when I give this guy 10 grand, right, this famous rapper, now I could just put it out. No, you can't put it out.
That's just for his
That's
services.
just for him to get on the track.
Got it.
Now you have a mixtape track that you're not allowed to make money off of yet. Now you got to go pay another deal for the distribution. And then once you pay them that money, then you can make money off of it. Put it on Spotify, put it on Apple Music, so on and so forth.
Oh.
And then if it's an even bigger artist, now you got to get them to the music video. It's another charge. So they used to have deals either where you could pick which one you wanted or pay for all three and you get the whole package.
Wow.
It's not like that anymore. I mean, it's still like that if you're signed to a major, but if you're independent, now it's all depends on like what the artist wants to do. Like, yeah, man, I give you my blessing to put this out. Here's the contract. Let's do this. Da 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 da. It's this one-time fee. Or there's been some things that I've done. Like, okay, you feature on my track. I'm gonna put it out as Miami Beatwave featuring such and such artist.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hook you up for your album with these couple beats, and we're gonna call it even. Your feature.
So you would like
from my
border.
beats. Say
Yeah,
that again.
You're kind of bordering together. Yeah.
Bartering, yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends. Some artists don't want that. Some artists want a bag, which is fine too.
What do you
just
prefer?
All depends. I mean, I think everybody prefers the bag, right? But I felt like just to build up the Miami Beatwave brand more,
Yeah.
Meaning I'm putting out records to say Miami Beatwave featuring artists, Miami Beatwave featuring. So Miami Beatwave is the artist, when before it was produced by Miami Beatwave.
So the verbiage is also important.
The verbiage and the fact that I have my own Spotify, my own Apple Music. I'm an actual artist on there.
Nice.
You get what I'm saying?
All right. So let's go there because it seems like you have all this knowledge of the industry, and then seems like you changed your self concept. Like you were at a trajectory to go a certain direction, and then life lessons or whatever steered you
Correct.
towards the other
Yeah.
way.
Life lessons, business lessons, all that. Music lessons too, just once you do so much of one thing of music,
Yeah.
it's kind of like your creative outlet kind of dries up and you're like, I want
It
to try
gets
something
stagnant.
new. I want to try something new.
Yeah.
And then some fans don't like that because like when you change it up, the artist is like, cool, man, this is cool and new for me. I love doing this. And the fans are like, bring us back to the old you, man. And it's like, just like Jay-Z said, then go buy my old album,
Yeah, man. I mean, Jay-Z, yeah, he drops gems here and there, but I mean, Reasonable Doubt, man, that's a classic. I mean,
Classic. Blueprint is a classic.
It just
Yeah.
seems that
His
Jay-Z,
entendres are crazy.
yeah, I mean, amazing artist. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but it always seems like he piggybacks off of like the next big producer or big artist.
What do you
feel
mean
me?
by that?
Justin Timberlake. You
Okay,
understand?
yeah. Put
Kanye
him on the hook.
West.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I listened to Jay back in the day, yeah, he had a reasonable doubt. But then everything else,
I needed somebody famous on it.
or not even famous, just somebody with that style. Like Freeway at the time was
Right.
blowing up, and he had Freeway, and then Beanie. You know what I'm
then he
saying?
grabbed Beanie.
So to me, it's
Those are
like
business moves too, though.
correct, which
Yeah.
is
As big as
something that
as big
you
as
need to do
business.
because it's what is it, music business, right?
Yeah.
But as a fan, you want to go back to these bars, go
Right.
back to this flow. Like
Now, out of all of them that you said, who did he get that's like the GOAT now? Kanye.
who do I think is the GOAT?
Kanye.
Kanye on what beats?
No. I'm just saying, out of all the people that Jay-Z signed and brought, because remember he signed Rihanna as well. He found Rihanna.
There you go.
So that's a huge
umbrella.
one. But Kanye is.
Kanye's
I
the
don't
man.
know. Is Kanye
Kanye's
bigger
one of
than
my
Jay-Z?
favorites. I think so.
Okay.
In
so-
my world, he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because
I
he
love
took
Kanye.
it there. He took it to places that you're like, yo, I haven't seen this.
Yeah. And then the fashion.
And then he did it again.
Yeah. And then he does it again.
And then
Yeah,
he did
yeah.
it again.
Yeah. And you might not always, agree with what he says or whatever. And, all artists are a little, we got our own opinions
But
and stuff
do
like
you
that.
really agree with everything everybody says?
Exactly. And now here's the real question. Do you separate the art from the artist?
Of course.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel like I separate and I say, hey, you know what? Even though Michael Jackson did what he did, or whatever
I was
the
about to
case
say,
is,
R.
we
Kelly,
still love
Michael
his
Jackson.
music. You know what I'm
Music is
saying?
music.
Well, I don't play R. Kelly no more. But yeah, I used to love R. Kelly back in the day. But no, I don't really.
I wouldn't say play him, but if it pops
But I'll
up,
play Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
because I know how to separate. I know how to separate what Kanye saying in an interview and stuff like that to listening to Graduation, listening to College Dropout and being like, yo, this song is hard. I love this. And separating the art, like separating, looking at a Van Gogh painting and then being like, oh, he was crazy because he cut off his ear. Okay, well, I separate those two. You get what I'm saying? Because who he was, and because once art is made and it goes out into the world, it's its own thing and its own
it
life
has his own
now.
identity.
It has its own identity. It's not the identity of the artist anymore.
Correct.
Now it's the people's.
Correct. Yeah, like people say, damn, I want Kanye. Oh, Graduation was amazing. He should go back to that song. I was like, bro, he was a totally different mindset.
Facts.
He was thinking, like, I got to get on. I got to make this. I got to do this for the people. Now he's like, yo,
Yeah.
forget y'all.
He just did the crazy show in South Korea where it was just him by himself. No theatrics, no fireworks, no background dancers.
Just
no
standing
nothing.
there?
Just running around. He did 72 songs and South Korea's going nuts. A whole big stadium.
You
By
remember?
himself. Just him standing there.
You remember? Michael Jackson did that first.
Ah,
I remember
bro,
the
Michael
Super Bowl.
Jackson. Yeah,
He
yeah.
jumped out and he just stayed there.
Yeah. And everybody was going crazy.
I remember
He
looking.
didn't even move.
I remember looking at the TV like, what's
Is
going
he
on?
going to do something?
And I'm like, yo, I think it's stuck, yo. Like,
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. It's awesome.
It was
man.
back then. I feel like the fans were more fans. Like when Elvis Presley would come on stage, the Beatles would come on stage, girls would be passing out and crying in the front row. Do we have that still?
No, but remember, back in the days, TVs wasn't like everywhere. You had
That's true, too.
TVs. You would have to see it in person.
So maybe we're a little too much desensitized now.
And I don't know about you, but like my first festival ever was Lollapalooza, the one they
Okay.
had here.
Yeah.
And I saw Ice Cube. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I saw, and,
Oh,
I
fire.
was like, wow.
Red Hot Chili Peppers is the one band I haven't seen live. that
Dude,
I
I've seen them
regret.
already like 5 times. They're
I
amazing.
regret it,
they're
bro.
better live.
Oh, I believe it.
So to answer your question, we're not the same because we're desensitized. Like
Right.
we see it already all the
Yeah,
time. We
yeah.
like,
Nobody goes crazy over that big star anymore.
I mean,
Some do.
Not
Some-
yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a little kid somewhere that's gonna pop out
Oh, yeah.
and it's gonna be like, whoa, where'd this guy come from?
Yeah.
On some crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go back to you started the studio, you did your thing, you kind of changed the self-concept. How do you feel now?
I feel blessed. I feel great. It was a really tough journey. I'm still going through it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm in a way better place, musically, financially,
finance.
emotionally, all of it, dude. And there was a time right before, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I lost my grandmother. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of relationship things and all this stuff. And it was really tough for me. And I was out there, hanging out at the bars and just trying to numb myself and stuff like that. And I kind of lost the music. I was still making music, and my businesses never stopped, but my personal life kind of I went down to a place that I'd never been before,
Yeah.
and I had to bring myself right back up.
How'd you
And
do that?
nobody else was going to help me. It took years. It took I don't want to get too preachy with the religion, but going to church, it took very much a lot of self-awareness, taking myself out of my body and looking at me as if I wasn't me, like if I was somebody else.
So like meditating.
Meditation is very important. I meditate a lot for anxiety and breathing exercises and stuff like that. But as far as like self-awareness, I had to like almost look at the man in the mirror, you know. Now we've been talking about Michael.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror, where you take yourself out of your body and you are somebody else, and you look in on yourself and say, wow, that's who I really am. That's how I'm acting. This is what I'm doing,
Nice.
so on and so forth. And then you get to make those changes.
Which is
Because
the
nobody-
knowledge of self.
Exactly.
And that's what
And-
took you further.
Right, but
and
it's
through
very
the
tough
storm.
because a lot of people in their mind might think that there's something they're not, or the opposite, where
Or they
they're
think
where they're
something's
insecure
wrong
or
with them.
insecure or there's something wrong with them. Yes, there's a lot of different cases, but you got also there's people that all the people around them tell them who they are.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's like, okay, I had to get through all of that and be like, it's just me and you, Brandon. That's it.
Exactly.
So now what
Knowledge
are we
of
gonna
self,
do?
bro.
Now what are we gonna do? Because even the people who have wanted to help you hasn't helped. So you need to take care of yourself.
Nice. And when
So
you have
nope,
that
nope.
conversation, like you physically had that
Yeah,
conversation
I feel like I still have the conversation
every day, huh?
You know, like it's something where it never goes away. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
The anxiety, the stress, and stuff like that. We live in a stressful world. I'm in a stressful industry. You know, people demand a lot from me. I demand a lot from myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I always have to remember to take a moment in the day, reflect on what I'm doing, who I am, what's going on morally, what's going on with me and myself, and block everybody else. Block everybody out. It might sound a little selfish, but you
No,
just
it's not selfish at all.
you need that time in your day, because if not, you get lost in the sauce, man.
Lost in the sauce. Okay, message.
There
Don't
you
get
go.
lost in the sauce.
Don't get lost in the sauce. Remember
Yeah,
who
man,
you are.
when-
Remember who you are. And that,
Especially when you have the studio, you have access, you know, you're creating, people are pulling you from all directions. And
right. So now that we're talking about that, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. The new R&B album that I'm coming out with at the end of the year is called "I'll Never Not Love You." So it is R&B, but there are records in there about mental health. I have a song
Wow,
called
that's
I
awesome.
have a song called "Beautiful War," where it's talking about a war within yourself.
Yes.
And I have a song called "I'll Never Not Love You," which is meaning it has the double entendre of I'll never not love you, like if you were in a relationship,
Okay.
but also that I'll never not love myself again.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
at that moment in time, I didn't love myself.
Oh,
That's
wow.
why I was wilding out and then trying to figure out what I should do, and I didn't know who I was, and you know, I was heartbroken from death and family and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you were going through it.
Yeah. So now this message that I'm trying to push on this is about mental health, but also there's the romantic songs on there. It's still R&B, and it's mixed with the mental health songs. So just to remind people to love themselves first so that they can love others. Because
Yeah,
until
that's
you
awesome.
love yourself,
Yeah,
you can't really fully love other people. You get what I'm saying?
That's the secret.
That's the secret.
And stop trying to be like other people, because if you are, you might not like yourself at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And why do you want to be like other people? We already got them.
The thing
There's
is
already
that
somebody. There already some.
when you're a
that's like-
kid and you don't have a podcast
oh,
to
that's true.
speak what we're saying, or maybe
Yeah.
they're telling them something different. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and
Yeah.
you just got to figure it out somehow, some way. And that's why we're trying to discuss where you make these decisions,
Yeah.
why you said no, why you said yeah, how you said, hold on, I got to change.
Agree.
So you did all of that, and you just explained it. It was knowledge of self, self-awareness, and you took the
It's-
concept of self
Yeah.
and pushed it further, and now you're a better person for it.
And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't like one day to the next. Like I still go through it some days. I think everybody
Yeah, but
does.
now you kind of like know how to handle it.
Now I know how to control it. Yes, exactly.
How do you
Like,
control
when
it?
I feel
What's
my
the
when I
exercises?
feel my anxiety coming up,
Yeah.
I have to take a minute. Like I'll put my phone to the side because if my phone my phone gives me a lot of anxiety because it's always ringing, always texting. We got social media we got to worry
It's a
about.
different
I,
world,
I run
man.
all my business off of my phone, so sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then talking to artists, managers, sync licensing people, contract stuff all day on the phone, back and forth. At the same time, I'm texting on the speaker. Then we got to post to Instagram and yada yada. And for a moment, I'm like, I forgot to breathe. You get what I'm saying? So breathing is really important for me.
Correct.
And also sometimes when I'm being creative and I'm in the flow state,
Yeah.
and when I talk about flow state, I talk about like that higher power that runs through you when you're creating something. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, yo, I just blanked out and I made this awesome song.
That's happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
That's happened to me playing soccer. Like
There you go. It's a
there's
flow
times,
state. You don't even remember what you just did, but you were amazing at it.
Yeah, they call
because
it
you were just letting it flow through you.
the zone. They're in
The
the
zone. Yes, the zone, flow state, same thing.
Nice.
Exactly. Momentum, and that is very important for me to reach during creation. And during those times of creation, sometimes I forget to breathe. And I catch myself and I'm like, oh, yo, breathe for a second, dude. Because I'm so focused in, laser focused in. You know what I'm saying? So breathing is the number one thing, man. I think, and guess what, guys? It's free. It's free to breathe, bro.
Yo, I heard that there's a story, man. It's funny. Sorry to change it, but the guy that created like water in a bottle,
Okay.
they made fun of that guy.
I believe it.
And they're like, why are you selling water in a water? I mean, water in a bottle. It's free, right?
Huh. Is it free?
There's a guy now that's selling air in a bottle.
Yeah.
So you could get air from the the mountains, and you could smell it.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And they're making fun of that guy too.
Well, we've been selling air in a bottle for a while for older people to breathe.
Yeah, but no, but this is gonna be like you're gonna go to a store.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, I
not for
want
medical
the
reasons.
Alps, and I want
I want to
Colorado,
smell the Alps today.
the Smoky Mountains.
You know where that might sell the most? In metropolitan cities.
Yeah.
Because it always smells like garbage. It always smells like cigarettes. It always smells like,
Correct.
and those type of places, they'll probably eat that up.
Of course,
You know what
I
I'm
went to
saying?
Vegas a long time ago. They had a club called Oxygen, like kind of like
We
it was
had a
here.
club called Oxygen here.
Yeah, but they actually had Oxygen.
Is that how old we are? That you
Yeah.
remember Oxygen?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
That place
Let's
was.
not talk about it.
No, let's talk about it.
No,
That place
I'm
was
just kidding.
awesome.
Yeah.
Why? Because it helped me understand how to move and like music was at that time was. What was that, like early 2000s?
I don't even remember. All I know is I was really young.
Oh, that the music was
Probably
on
too
point.
young to be there.
Yeah, now you go to a club, like you go to live
I don't
in these
go
places.
to clubs anymore, man.
Me either.
All I do is work.
I mean, I don't have to go. I just
All I
look at
do is
Instagram and I'm there.
And I'm there.
Without spending no money.
You know
That's
what
great.
freaks me out? All those clubs where they put the headphones on and like everybody's dancing without the music.
Yeah, that's trippy. I tried that out in a festival. I didn't like it.
I've never done it, but it looks strange.
It is.
It feels strange. And then how do people talk to
They
each
don't.
other?
That's why it was weird.
Like,
Because
how am I supposed to say, yo, I'm gonna buy you a drink, man? Like, you take your headphones.
you're like, what?
And then supposedly there's like different DJs or whatever
And it lights up a different light. Yeah.
and those different lights have different music.
Correct.
So all these people don't look like they're dancing to the same song, and it looks so strange.
I was in a festival and I'm walking and I just see lights and I look and I'm like, what's going on here? And there's somebody like shuffling, doing that shuffle.
And
And
somebody
then
else
there's
is slow
another
dancing.
guy like that. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here?
And then there's another girl listening to reggaeton, and then you're like, what is happening right
And
now?
then you go to a little station, then you listen, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's a good sound because they're good quality, but
Right.
yeah, I'm with you on that one. I didn't like it.
Mhm.
I didn't like it. So now that you accomplished all these things, and let's say you are a Grammy nominated artist, correct?
No, I'm not Grammy nominated.
Not yet?
No.
What
Billboard Awards.
Award.
Billboard Awards, iTunes charts, Spotify charts, all that stuff. Grammy nominated, not yet. Hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
That's the
Billboard
next step.
Awards. That was the next step. And what's
Yeah,
that?
and we just actually submitted for Chili Guys. I got AG Lawrence in the house right now. He's here
what's up,
from
AG?
Chili Guys, chilling on the couch, hanging out with us.
Yes.
We just submitted for the Grammys the
Latin?
Love Papa. No, it's a reggae song.
Okay.
I mean, a reggae album.
Okay.
It's submitted, so let's see, man. Let's cross our fingers.
How does that work? You submit it and then they accept it and then they send
You have to already be part of the committee. Once you're part of the committee, then you can put in your album or song or whatnot, and then the other voting members vote on those records, and then those will get the nominations, and then from the nominations you get the winner.
Isn't that like a
So they
debate
have
thing?
to be the voting members inside of the academy are the ones who vote on it. So after you submit, then you have to get enough votes from the committee.
And who are the people on the committee?
They're chosen. Okay, I think it's if you've been Grammy nominated already, you automatically get in, but then you have to pay your dues every year.
Got it. You gotta go and you gotta represent.
No, actually money.
Oh, you gotta pay?
Yeah, you gotta pay every year. You gotta pay your dues.
Yo, the music business is crazy.
Yeah. Everything in the music business.
You just said it. You gotta pay this, you gotta pay that, you gotta pay this.
Exactly. So, and then from there, it's just how many committee members love your stuff. But also, at the end of the day, certain genres have less competition. So, like, if you're in the Latin genre right now, you're going up against J Balvin and all these type of people and Bad Bunny. That's tough.
Yeah, these
but
guys
if you're in the gospel gospel genre or the reggae genre that we're doing,
yeah,
we have more of a chance because it's less saturated.
Yeah, Pitbull spoke about that he created his own lane because he heard, I think, what was it? Was it trance? What kind of music was it? It was like upbeat music that he started.
House music?
House music.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? I could do this.
And it changed.
And
it changed from the Little John sound that he had. So before that, it was the regular Miami sound.
Correct.
Then Little John came and gave him his sound. And then somewhere along the way, somebody told Pitt, put on a suit and tie, and we're about to do dance music. And then
it worked.
And then everybody knows what happens then. What happened then?
It worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that he had self-awareness to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. And that's what we were discussing earlier, that there's not that many people doing that.
Right.
There's a lot of people trying to be or trying to get close or trying to.
You know who reminds me of that? Post Malone, man. I saw Post Malone make
doing country now.
Hit records. Exactly. So hit records in rap music. And then he went and made hit records in pop music. And now he's making hit records in country music. Yeah. So he's literally transcending through genres, which is very impressive.
Yeah, but that guy is a character.
He's a character, and
he's not a regular dude.
He's musically good at what he does. He can do different genres,
and he's humble.
I like Posty.
So cool. I'm sure opportunities come at him, and then he probably has self-awareness,
right,
and uses that vibe and rides that wave.
Oh, I agree.
The Miami Beat wave soon, huh?
Yeah, soon.
That'll be great.
Grammy. Speaking it into existence.
Yo, I honestly, I knew the Billboard things, but I thought, I mean, I should have done my research better.
That's okay. That's why I'm here.
But maybe we just manifested it.
Yeah. We just manifested it. Yes. I like that right here.
I want to be at that celebration.
On your podcast. We manifested it.
I want to be on that celebration. It's going to happen.
To the celebration. Oh, we're going to celebrate.
Yeah, but you're not drinking now. So.
You're right. But if we win a Grammy, I drink here and there. But vacation, I just went on vacation with my lady. We went to Paris. I recently got engaged and stuff like that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I did it in front of the Eiffel Tower.
How original.
Yeah, well, it's tougher to do than you think.
I got engaged December last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. And I did it
do it in front of the Eiffel Tower?
No, I actually did it in front of a shaman that took us to the Vortex in Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And we did I don't know, what is it called when the shaman pretty much does the whole...
Aligns your chakras.
That.
Uh-huh.
And we aligned it, and then we had visions in the process, and she saw her grandparents.
You took ayahuasca or DMT or anything?
No, we were with the kids also. So I had my daughter and my son.
Oh, wow.
And he took us to this
Usually the shamans like to give you a little bit of DMT or ayahuasca.
Nah, I wish. Nah, man, we were all good.
Get a babysitter for these kids,
in
guys.
the morning, we sat there. He guided us. We went through the vortex, and it's real, dude. I can't really explain it because it's a feeling and an emotion, and it's not really a vision.
Right.
But then when you do visualize something, it's kind of like goes with the flow that you bring with you. And then when you come out of it, you release.
So basically you chose to do it with the shaman the same way people would do it with a pastor or a priest.
No, but we didn't get married. We got engaged. He was she had no idea. But in my mind,
but
I'm
it's
like...
It's the same concept of kind of getting blessed, no?
I mean,
no? You're
Brandon. Whatever you say is correct. But
Man, say that again. Can I get that on recording?
whatever you say is correct, bro.
Can you talk to my girl, bro?
I don't want those problems, dude. But no, we were there and I felt it, whatever it is. And I was like, yo, this is dope. And then she was crying. I'm like, yo, why are you crying?
Right, emotional.
And she's like, I saw my grandparents.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, man. And she's like, oh, my God, I don't understand. And then the shaman's like, oh, well, you know, they came through the vortex to see you. It's a very good thing. It's
Can
very.
you explain this? Vortex is
Okay, so in
meaning
Arizona.
that they're passed away?
No, in Arizona, there's like key points in like the geography of the land that there's like a energy vortex.
Really?
Yes, and it's a real thing, bro. But I went there like okay, whatever. When I went there, I was like, yo, this is real, because
You were a skeptic at first.
I was a skeptic. So when you get up in higher ground and you look down, you see the trees regular, but like where the vortex is supposed to go through in a line, all the trees are turning, little flowers, everything. The stems are turning.
Almost like a tornado.
Correct. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And then I'll show you. I have pictures. You see like a big ass tree, like somebody twisted it like a towel when you do it like that. And I'm like, yo, how the hell? And then the rest that are outside the vortex are growing perfectly fine.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Me either. So I was like, well, and then when I
But
did,
is there scientists, people who are like, this is the reason?
there always is, man.
Yeah,
but I don't
okay.
listen to science.
I was just wondering.
Because science is an educated guess that
Always changes, right?
That always changes.
Yep.
It's not. So to me, it was the feeling, and I felt it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to my point, to the engagement, she was crying and she was talking to the shaman, and the shaman was trying to explain to her that it's okay. They came to see you. And
Wow.
And then she was like, oh, but why? And then I told her, I know why. And then I got on one knee and I proposed to her.
Oh, you did it right there. She was already crying before you did it.
Yeah. And then she's like, you lie. You're lying.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yo, my girl did the same thing. She was like, you're joking, right?
Yeah.
You're joking. I'm like, no, obviously I'm not. And then she started bawling out, crying, and I don't think she heard a word I said because she was just crying. And I was like, well, I practiced this speech for a while for no reason.
Exactly. It was nothing like I thought. So if you guys are planning on getting engaged, just go for it, do your thing, and speak from the heart. And the funny thing is that
They're gonna love it anyway. If they love you,
doesn't matter,
no matter what you say. Yeah.
And I was just like, say yes, because I had my knee landed on a little tiny rock, dude.
Oh, and you were just holding it.
And I was there like, say yes, say yes. And I didn't want to get up because I was like, yo, how do I do this, you know?
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, she said yeah. And then I got up and I was like, wow, it was a relief and a relief.
Good.
It was great. So now we're two happily engaged guys.
That's an awesome story, dude.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
Knowledge of self. Like, I didn't know how to do it, how to go about it. But once I found out about the whole vortex, spiritual, mystic part of it,
in my life.
I was like, look into it. Go with your girl. It's amazing. I love Arizona.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, when you get married, that same shaman comes?
We thought about that. But when we asked him, I kind of was like, yo, the shaman's kind of sideways because he started talking about money. And the first thing he goes, well, I usually do it. It's just... I'm really expensive. And I'm like, bro, what kind of shaman are you, dude?
Who starts off by even saying that?
Exactly. That's when I was like, nah, I don't want to do it with this guy.
What if somebody said, yeah, well, I'm kind of rich? Like, what?
Then I guess they'll do it. I don't know.
That's
but I was like, nah, I know exactly how I wanted to do it. I did it. I made it happen. It worked out. And everything's good.
Good.
But Brandon, congratulations, man. I see that you're doing big things. Explain to us now, because I know that now you're independent.
Yes.
Like, how did you get there?
Basically, I mean, technically I've always been independent, but what I mean by independent as far as releasing my albums and my records and my singles, it's all done through independent distribution.
Okay.
I do all the BMI work. I do all the sound exchange work. I do all the percentages, all the split sheets. I do all the MLC work, all the back stuff with the royalties. Any artist that's featured on it, I also take care of that for them. So I'm just taking care of all of the back end management stuff, as well as making the beats, putting the artists on them, recording them, mixing them, mastering them, distributing them.
And you got to breathe. And you got to breathe throughout that whole thing. Don't forget to breathe, bro.
Don't forget to breathe. That's the name of
this
episode.
What is it, long-winded?
This is the name of this episode. Don't forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe.
In and out.
All right. So at the end of the podcast, man, I always ask a few questions. So like we kind of like have a different conversation. Have you ever seen that movie, The Bronx Tale?
Of course.
You know the part when he
If she
asks,
doesn't, if she doesn't
oh,
go to the
drop her.
she's
She's a selfish broad.
she's a selfish broad.
Yeah, but that's that
Of course,
part. That's
bro.
a good
One
part.
of my favorite movies.
The part that he asked Sonny, "Do you prefer to be loved or feared?"
Mm.
What do you think about that statement? Take your time.
A part of me wants to say you could be both, because you could be feared by other people and your family could love you because you're a good family person. You know what I'm saying? You look out for your family, but it's almost like, let's say, The Godfather. The family, you know, like, we love The Godfather. That's our grandfather. That's the man who runs it. He gives us all the money. He gives us the shelter. He respects us. Da 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 da. But the rest of the world fears him. So maybe it's a little bit of both.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'll
And
say a little bit of both.
A
would be
little bit
nice.
of both.
Yeah.
All right, and then the other one is perception or reality.
Reality. I'd
Wow.
rather you give it to me straight so I can calculate and know what my move is gonna be, instead of bullshitting me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather the devil that I can see the face instead of the devil that's hiding the face. They're both doing the same thing, and I gotta choose. And they're both doing wrong, but let me go with the person that I actually know is gonna tell me the truth. So now I know what I'm gonna do back, instead of the fake face where I don't know exactly what's going on. So I can't calculate my next moves.
The reality. That's a good one.
Reality.
All right, bet.
That's what I'm going with.
All right, man. Tell everybody where they can find you. Let everybody know what's coming up next. I know the album's coming up next.
Yeah.
And then what else to be looking for?
Well,
And
the
then-
album's I'll Never Not Love You. It's coming out in December. My socials are all at Miami Beatwave, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, website, all that type of stuff. And thank you for just having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it. It's a long time coming, and you blessed, man. This is amazing what you got going on.
Yeah,
in
man.
here,
It's
bro.
creative currency,
From the
man.
barbershop to here, bro. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, and we're still making moves. It's gonna expand. It's gonna get bigger, man.
excited.
Roger from Creative Currency, great guy, great studio, great vibes. If you guys
Beautiful.
want to film,
Shout out to him.
do your thing. All right. Thank you
Thank you for
for
having
coming,
me on, bro.
and I'm waiting for that Grammy. And when you do, we're gonna do another podcast, and we're gonna talk about all that.